local, late-breaking. This is WDSU News at 5.
Right now at 5, the rain clearing out of the metro area, but other parts of southeast Louisiana are still seeing those downpours. The afternoon's been filled with summer pop-up showers, and the rest of the evening could be the same way. Good evening. I'm Juliana Mazza. The rain has drenched several neighborhoods on the South Shore and left behind a lot of flooding. We have video from viewers around town coming up. But first, let's check in with meteorologist Daniel Graves to see where these storms are heading now. Daniel.
You get these downpours and they just sat over the area, and that's where we've been seeing all of this flooding across the area. If there's any good news right now, it is that rain is starting to diminish a bit across the city, but we are still seeing some heavy downpours across southeast Louisiana. So I want to show you what's been going on. And there's the radar. We saw the rainfall that just kind of sat over the metro area. The heavy rain now starting to come to an end. Wanted to show you this picture from Dustin Melanson. This is in Mid-City near Jesuit High School. You can see how high the rain has come up to that car, and you definitely want to use caution when you're traveling. If you run into some flooded roadways, find a different route. Don't try to make it through. Your car could stall and then you're really stuck there. So you definitely want to use caution if you're still traveling over the next several hours. So now that we're seeing the rain starting to come to an end, you still have some flooded roadways out there, but some light rain still across parts of the metro area. You can see some of these Doppler indicated rainfall totals. A lot of this happened just within an hour to 2 hours. You can see near City Park, 3.5 inches of rain. Lakeview area saw 2 to 3 inches of rain as well. This is Doppler indicated, but it gives you an idea of the heavy rainfall across our area. But that wasn't the only place that saw some heavy rain. We had flood advisories for St. Tammany Parish, Northern Tangipahoa Parish earlier this evening. You can see Doppler indicated many areas 2 to 3 inches of rain. So looking at the broader picture, you can see a lot of that rain now coming to an end. That's certainly some good news, but we still have some heavy downpours down near the coast. Grand Isle had some of that heavy rainfall as well, and still some showers across Tangipahoa Parish. When I come back, we'll talk more about what's going on as far as the rest of your weekend. We've still got some heavy rain to deal with. Juliana, I'll break down that timing here in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Daniel. As you mentioned, rain still coming down. Areas prone to flooding cause major problems for drivers and for residents today. Here's a look at flooding in Gentilly. Several intersections in the streets were covered in some fairly deep water. This SUV making its way through, but if you have a lower car, you need to be careful. We've already heard some reports of cars getting stuck in that water. And now turn it over to Lakeview. Similar road conditions there. Here's a look at what drivers were dealing with. The water completely covered the streets and was all the way up to people's front doors. The front yards look more like swimming pools. And city officials say the heavy thunderstorms caused major problems for several areas as that rain just kept falling, filling up the pumping systems. WDSU's Tammy Eswick continues our team coverage from Lakeview with more from people who got stuck in it. Tammy.
Yeah, that's right. Someone drove their vehicle into the flood water. We're on Canal Boulevard right by the train bridge. This is if you were getting off of the interstate headed towards Delgado Community College. As you can see, some people are trying to find pathways to get around this flooded mess right here, right underneath the train bridge. Now, what happened here? That's the question that everyone has. Well, we contacted the Sewage and Water Board. They say that the city took on more than 4 inches of rain in just 1 hour. The pump system can drain 1 inch of water in the first hour and a half inch every hour after that. But here was the problem. There was a power outage that delayed the pumps from starting at the height of this downpour, which exacerbated the entire situation. Right now, those pumps are on and they're catching up. But we actually spoke to a woman who drove her SUV into the water right here near the Canal Boulevard train bridge. Here's what she had to say of why she went in.
There was a truck that went right before me and he went through, and so I said, oh, the heck with these barricades. I can get through, always do, even when they're barricaded off. So I just assumed, I mean, in retrospect, I should have done something different.
Yeah, officials always say, don't drown, turn around whenever you see water and think that there may be a reason why you can't get through. Now, we did want to mention that there were at least 2 more cars flooded near Jeff Davis and Bienville and Paris Avenue. Tammy Eswick, WDSU News.
Thanks, Tammy. And right now there are about 2,700 power outages across the state as we continue to follow the energy outage map. There are now 700 customers affected in Orleans Parish, where just an hour ago there were more than 2,000. There are also outages in Lafourche, Jefferson, St. Charles and St. Bernard areas. And Cleclo is reporting just over 800 outages over in St. Tammany Parish. So with the rain still on the move, this is the time to make sure you have the WDSU weather app on your phone. It lets you keep track of the live radar so you know what's happening in your neighborhood tonight. Today marks what would have been the 38th birthday of a man who was killed in a crash on the causeway earlier this year. James Blackman was impaled by a railing in a crash back in March. His car was hit by Olivia Madd, who's accused of drunk driving. Today, Blackman's family met on the North Shore side of the causeway to remember him. His wife says she doesn't want people to forget about the man he was. Madd is scheduled to start trial on a separate DWI case that happened last December. She's out on bond for charges relating to the death of James Blackman. And Causeway officials are continuing to work towards making that bridge safer. This week, the State Bond Commission approved a deal that allows them to purchase bonds needed to make those improvements. Construction is expected to begin next summer. Safety improvements on the bridge are also being paid by increased tolls for those who use the bridge. A rollover crash early this morning left home a man dead. State police identified the victim as 50-year-old Stephen Bellinger. Investigators say his Dodge pickup truck ran off the road on LA 660 in Terrebonne Parish. The truck hit a driveway and rolled several times, ejecting Bellinger from the vehicle. He died at the scene. Troopers say he was not wearing a seatbelt. The NOPD looking for 5 people they say robbed a man near the French Quarter. It happened Friday morning at the intersection of St. Louis and Charter Streets. Police say the group assaulted the victim, then took his wallet and cell phone. The 20-year-old victim was taken to the hospital with minor injuries and is listed in stable condition. The Rivertown Farmers Market reopened today in great fashion at its new location. The farmers market made its move from Williams Boulevard to the historic LaSalle's Landing right along the Mississippi River. The new shopping spot offered fresh vegetables, local foods, and arts and crafts.
Everyone like home cook, home prepare, farmer stuff that without preservatives, and I think it's a great thing because healthy choice is the way to go.
It looks like they had some sunshine over there, too. Shoppers were kept entertained by a New York-based brass quartet. The championship train for Jefferson Parish continues to fill up. Another team of young athletes have taken the state championship title. The Girard Playground 9 and 10 All-Stars will be representing Louisiana in the World Series in Oxford, Alabama. The boys beat out a team from Patterson, Louisiana in a best-of-3 tournament, winning their final game today 14-2. And they are no strangers to winning. This is the 3rd time Girard's been to the World Series. And to tout their skills even more, LSU's Greg Dykman was on the team back in 07. Congratulations, guys. Shakeups in the White House not deterring President Trump. Next at 5, how his team is working to get new people in place. And a police shooting caught on camera. What officials say about the officer's split-second decision. And as we go to break, here's a look at this afternoon's showers from around town this afternoon. Meteorologist Daniel Graves has your full forecast coming up. Of early morning tweets from President Donald Trump shows his growing frustration with the multiple investigations into Russian meddling in the 2016 election. In them, Trump asserted a president's power to pardon whoever he chooses, including himself. Sarah Dolliffe has the story.
Amid sirens and bells, President Donald Trump helped commission the USS Gerald R. Ford.
Good luck and Godspeed. Thank you to the Ford family, and thank you to every sailor in the greatest Navy on earth.
Hours before the patriotic ceremony, the president fired off a series of angry tweets, including one asserting his complete power to pardon. The Washington Post reported earlier this week Trump has been inquiring about his ability to pardon aides, family members, even himself in connection with the Russia investigation.
I'm not aware of any president giving a pardon in an effort to stave off an investigation. That is, I believe, unprecedented.
And more potential Russia complications for the president as congressional leaders reached an agreement on sanctions against the country for election meddling and military aggression towards its neighbors. A section of the bill calls for a congressional review if the president was to ease or end sanctions. But a veto from the Oval Office would likely spark an outcry from lawmakers on both sides of the aisle. Sarah Dolph, NBC News, Washington.
Actor John Heard, best known for his role as the dad in Home Alone, has died. The 71-year-old was found at a Palo Alto, California hotel. He was staying there while he recovered from back surgery. Besides his role playing Macaulay Culkin's father, Peter McAllister in Home Alone 1 and 2, Heard had a guest role in the TV series The Sopranos and in the movie Big alongside Tom Hanks. Protesters are trying to push out the mayor of Minneapolis after a number of high-profile police shootings. Most recently, the shooting death of an Australian woman, and protesters remembering the death of Philando Castile last year. Dozens of protesters crashed a news conference where the mayor was trying to announce the police chief's resignation. The mayor had requested it, saying she lost confidence in the chief's ability to lead. Friday's protest was led by a friend of Philando Castile. The protesters demanded that the mayor quit. The mayor says she will not resign, but that she understood people's frustrations are high. Newly released video shows that a Las Vegas Metro police officer shooting an alleged robbery suspect. Authorities say Officer Jeff Burr responded to a stolen vehicle that was found in the parking lot of a shopping center Tuesday. Within seconds, video shows Officer Burr encounter 30-year-old Giuseppe Russo. You can see Officer Burr was chasing Russo through the parking lot, demanding multiple times that he get on the ground and comply with orders. At the end, Russo reached for a gun in his waistband, and that is when Officer Burr opened fire.
Look at how quick that occurred. From the time he arrived on the call till the time that the shots were fired was 43 seconds. That officer had to make split-second decisions when he put his hand on that gun and pulled it out of his waistband. So that you bring up a great point, because it shows just how quick our officers have to think and be on their feet.
In front of the car.
Russo was hit in the arm and hip. Police say he remains hospitalized in critical but stable condition. He faces several charges. And turning now to weather at home, it was another downpour today for parts of the South Shore. We got these pictures from viewers on our You Local page as some kids swimming in the road on Wilshire Street near the fairgrounds. The North Shore was also impacted by thunderstorms this afternoon. This is from a viewer near the Covington and Bush area. You can just barely make out the car lights in the front of them through the window. And that rain is moving out, but this is a live look outside right now. You can see some of the blue skies coming back here in the metro area, but it's not gone everywhere. Daniel.
No, and so that's looking a lot better now after we had some heavy rainfall just sit over the area for a few hours. So if you are going out this evening, just be aware that some water still out on the roadways. For the most part, though, that rain coming to an end this evening. Let's take a look at where some rain still is happening right now. And as you can see, the widespread coverage a lot less now as we're going towards these evening hours. We still got some heavy rain out there. The rain earlier, though, across the metro area just sat over this area for several hours. Now is pushed towards the south. Rainfall continuing to diminish across the area. There are still a few isolated showers out there this evening. Down towards the coast, Grand Isle had heavy rain sitting over there for a couple of hours. That rain in South Jefferson Parish now coming to an end there. All out into the Gulf of Mexico. Still got some thunderstorms. Mariners, be aware of those showers there. Firing up again down towards southwestern portions of Hancock County along I-12. So be aware of the showers there, and the rain coming to an end for most of the North Shore this evening. The culprit, if you can see the area rotating in the Gulf of Mexico, that is an upper level low slowly moving off towards the west. It brought in a lot of moisture from the Gulf of Mexico, and that's what brought the heavy rainfall today. And we're going to see heavy rainfall again going throughout the day tomorrow. So keep that in mind if you do have plans for the end of the weekend. The overall trend, though, for the rest of the evening, rainfall coverage will lessen. We still have a few isolated showers possible through the overnight hours. Most going to stay dry, mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures warm and humid, mid to upper 70s. A few low low 80s to start out the day on Sunday. Then look at this. As we go into the late morning hours, we start to see more shower activity building in. Combine that with daytime heating and that upper level low. Again, periods of heavy rainfall going to be possible with some lightning, downpours, and some gusty winds. So that continues through the afternoon. And I think we'll still hang on to some shower activity into the early evening hours as well. But typically through the overnight hours, we don't see that much coverage. And those rain chances going to continue as we go throughout the day on Monday as well. So looking at some rainfall estimates as we go throughout your day on Sunday. Again, some isolated areas could see those pockets of heavy rainfall, 1 to 2 inches of rain, some higher amounts as well, while others may not see as much rain. So where this sets up throughout the day, you definitely need to be aware, keep the umbrellas handy throughout the day, because we'll see our best rain chances throughout the morning and afternoon hours. Going into next week, though, we'll start to see lesser rain chances. Monday, we still got a good shot at some rain, but high pressure going to start to build in. We'll see lesser rain chances through the rest of the week. You can see the coverage starting to diminish here as we go into Tuesday and Wednesday. What's happening with our weather pattern? Well, in the upper levels, this high pressure is going to start to build towards the east. You can see these orange colors across our area. That means drier air, which means warmer temperatures. Yeah, we're going to see that temperature really increasing as we go throughout next week. This is a look at our heat index value forecast, and as you can see, it's going to be feeling like triple digits again as we go towards the beginning and middle parts of next week. So keep that in mind. If you work outdoors, you definitely want to be staying hydrated, as we'll see temperatures back into the middle 90s. For today, before the rain really came down, we were able to warm before lunchtime into the low 90s across most areas. Hammond a high today of only 88, Houma 86 degrees. Right now at the New Orleans airport, 81 degrees. The rain has moved out, a mostly cloudy sky still hanging around. Winds out of the southwest at 5 miles per hour. Across the area, some rain-cooled areas still in the upper 70s. Otherwise, we're looking at temperatures in the mid to the upper 80s. Check out your 7-day forecast. Highest rain chances again tomorrow. More sunshine as we go throughout the week. That means some much warmer temperatures, mid-90s, returning for the rest of the week.
All right, thanks, Daniel. And to see more pictures and weather videos, head to the WDSU U local page. We also have pictures from some of our WDSU anchors and reporters of flooding that they saw this afternoon. That's on the WDSU mobile app. Coming up next in sports, one veteran Saints player tells us why 2017 is make or break for the black and gold.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Fletcher Mackel, and this weekend is the calm before the sports storm. All quiet on the football front, but that will change this week when the Saints begin training camp and college teams start reporting to campus. Speaking of the black and gold, they'll be looking to bounce back big time after 3 straight losing seasons. The last time they had a winning record back in 2013. Yesterday, my colleague, sports anchor Sharif Ishak, caught up with Saints team captain Zach Strief during a radio show and asked him about the team getting back on track.
Do you feel like this has to be the year, or those so-called changes might happen after the season's over if you guys don't succeed?
Well, I certainly think that if we're 7-9 again, if we're anywhere in that neighborhood, I think there's absolutely going to be changes made. And I think that's reality, and I also think that's fair. We're in the business to win games, and we haven't won enough. I think this team is capable of having a really good year. I really do. I think there's a lot of stuff that plays into that every season. I think that us staying healthy, having guys in week 10 that we have in week 1 is maybe the biggest of all of those things.
For the first time since 2013, the Saints will hold training camp at their facility in Metairie this year. But unlike in years past when the team just let fans in on a first-come, first-served basis, this year fans will need tickets. The practices are still free, but all fans must go to the Saints website and get a ticket before they'll be allowed in to watch the practices. Tickets are limited to 4 per individual. The Saints practices start at 8:50 and go until 11:20 every morning. We'll have live coverage from Airline Drive and Eat show next Thursday when the Saints start workouts. Joining us for his 8th season as part of our Saints on 6 coverage, former Saints head coach Jim Mora. So please make sure to tune in next week. College football in the Sun Belt Conference media days are on Monday at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. The UL Lafayette Ragin' Cajuns are a team with a huge fan base here in New Orleans, so we'll hear from head coach Mark Hudspeth then. Earlier this week, it was Southland Media Day. Coming off a solid 2016, the Nicholls State Colonels are looking for their first winning season since 2007. And if they get there, it'll be due in large part to quarterback Chase Forcade.
I thought when we went out to spring ball, when Chase threw his first pass in spring, I thought he was just a lot bigger, a lot more stronger. The ball had a little bit more zip on him. I think he's made tremendous strides in the offseason. He's a lot more mature, and I see him every day even growing since spring ball. How he's taking charge of this team and what he's doing over the summer with him. We're just looking forward to him having an outstanding season.
Last year, Chase Forcade and the Colonels lost to rival Southeastern. In fact, Ron Roberts' team swept Louisiana in conference, beating Nicholls, McNeese State, and Northwestern State. Since 2013, SLU is 31-18 overall, and they've made 2 trips to the FCS playoffs.
McNeese and the tradition they've got. Just unbelievable program for years, and then for us to be able to have success against them and do that hopefully leans value to our recruits, that where we're going as a program. And so obviously that, and Nicholls, Northwestern, again, anytime I think at the end of the day most kids want to win. And if you can go in there and show that you've had a history of had success over them. I think all 3, their program's on the rise, doing a tremendous job. Again, I feel fortunate enough to come out on the plus side of that, and obviously thankful for our players doing a great job.
Coming up at 6 o'clock, back to the Saints. We'll hear what former Saints safety Roman Harper has to say about this year's team. Some pretty insightful analysis from the 11-year veteran.
All right, looking forward to it. And remember, you can stay informed with WDSU anytime, anywhere. Follow us 24/7 on Twitter, Facebook, and of course, WDSU.com.
So a few isolated showers out there, carrying a 30% rain chance through the evening, but then clouds will start to increase as we go through the overnight hours. More rain chances as we go throughout the day on Sunday. Could get some heavy downpours, so definitely be aware of that in your outdoor plans tomorrow.
All right, thanks, Daniel, and thank you for joining us tonight. Hope to see you back here at 10. Have a great night.